Woo! Okay, so today we're back working on the Mini Cooper S. So the main aim of today is to rectify all of the things that this car just failed on its MOT. So we've got to fix a leaking brake pipe on the driver's side rear. We've got a broken coil spring that needs replacing on the passenger side rear. 2 rear indicator bulbs that are the wrong colour somehow. And we've also got a leak in the power steering. So I took this car for an MOT and it failed its MOT because this coil spring has broken. Really difficult to see, even for me. But there's a section down here at the bottom, according to the MOT tester, about that much, that's actually snapped off. So he said to me, you probably won't even feel it as you're driving. You know, it's such a small break and it's right at the bottom there. It's not like it's snapped halfway up the spring. But even though I won't feel it and it's probably not going to be that detrimental to the handling, it is still a failure. So I'm going to replace this whole spring. And as ever, I haven't looked at any instructions yet really on how to do this. I think it's just a couple of bolts really. I can't see anything crazy about it. One thing I'm not looking forward to though is we are forecast incredibly heavy rain any minute now, so this is just going to be a bit of a miserable, soggy, wet job, I think, but I want to get this car through its MOT as quickly as possible, so needs must. Okay, so are we taking bets on the fact that this shock bolt is just going to be completely seized and stuck on and a right devil to take off? Okay, I'll take that back. It was actually quite easy. Oh yeah, delightful. Ah! What is this? The longest bolt in all recorded human history. Woo! I didn't think about that, but obviously this is where that checking the instructions whole thingamajigger can come into handy. Come on, get off. Why? And then these 2 30mm bowls holding the shock. Uh-oh. This bolt here that's holding the shock on, that has just corroded loads. And so if I put a 13mm socket on it, look how much play there is. And then if we compare it with the one at the rear, which is way less corroded, that fits snug. So I know already that this bolt is going to round, and that is mighty annoying. It's gonna round, it will 100% round. I've tried to hit a 12mm socket on there, absolutely not happening. Oh, every single time I try and do something on this car there's a hiccup. So what do? Just use the bolt removers on it straight away and call BMW up and just see if they can get a bolt to me tomorrow. Okay, actually, just ignore everything I just said. I just managed to get it off with minimal fuss. I soaked it for ages in penetrant, and in this Halford's toolkit I've got, there are some 6-point sockets. Now, weirdly, they're only for the 1/4" drive bits. So I'll put an adapter in, and I was a little bit worried that I might break it. But this 6-point socket just gripped it enough, and got it off. So really, what I'm telling you is that was just all much ado about nothing. And I'm quite cheered to see that I am actually learning. You know, Nino Rosella, circa January 2022, would have just gone whop with whatever he had to hand, rounded it, and then sat here scratching his head going, ugh. Come on. There you go. Why would you put a brake line there? Oh. Okay. There we go. Okay, so you can definitely see it now. There's that little bit of broken spring, and it is right down there at the bottom. So let's whiz all this off then. You probably just stick a thing in there, don't you, and then undo that, and then it all just lifts off. Right, so I've got these clamped down. I never know how much you have to actually clamp them down. I've done it a bit, I suppose, enough to take the strain off the top, which I suppose all you need to do. So then I think all you need to do is put in there and then just crank on it. Here goes. Okay, now I need to remember the order all of this stuff comes off so that it goes back on right. So that sits like that. There's a groove in there, so remind me if I get that wrong. That sits on there like that. It goes like that. Got to take that off. It goes like that. And then the shock comes out. So the new spring that I got was a Sax, or a Sax, or a Sash. One of them. You know it's not going to be Sax. There she is. So I think now this is as easy as just reassembling the way I took it off. Yep. There's a little arrow there, and that's where, you can't see it, it's actually up in there, but that's where the spring stops. It's kind of foolproof, to be honest. And this rain that I was promised hasn't materialised. Not that that's a complaint. And now I've just got to get that down there, into there. Not even close. How am I going to get that in there? I'm miles off. Okay, this is me now just trying to use my brain rather than brawn. So I've got the car up on axle stands on this side only. It's on the wheels on the other side. I don't know if you're supposed to do that or not, or allowed, or if that's safe. I've done it. So I'm just thinking, so if there's a load on that side, that's gonna push down on that one and then up on this, and then if this is pushing up on this whole assembly, then that's why I'm not going to be able to get that down. So if I was to jack up the other side, take the load off, this anti-roll bar will unload, if you like, enough for me to push this down. Maybe, maybe not. So I've just jacked this side up ever so slightly. The wheel is still on the floor. So let's have a look if just removing a tiny bit of load helped. Oh yes, look at that. Oh, beautiful. Oh, so now I can just lean on it. Oh, delightful. Febreze. And that's it, all buttoned up. The brake pipe all connected back onto the shock and everything, all torqued down. That went remarkably well for me. Now we're down on the rear, on the driver's side, and so if I bring that in there, you can probably see, if I move the light around a bit, there's definitely some brake fluid leaking out of there. So hopefully you can see this, that's almost finger tight. So I'm assuming if I just nick this up properly, like so, that's now going to be sealed nicely. Again, like, that was my error. It was literally just finger tight. You just saw that. And I've had people write in the comments, you know, dealing with your brakes is exceptionally dangerous. Why didn't you check everything? I did check everything, but the thing is, don't forget, I'm a noob doing this, and I've done so much work, not just on the car, but on these rear brakes in particular, that, you know, as a noob, it's easy to just, you know, forget things, absent-mindedly forget things, or not to double check, or so, you know, things like that happen. The only thing that I need now is I actually do need to wait for my helper to come home and then actually push on the brake pedal, because although I've just done that up tighter, I need to make sure it's actually not leaking under load. Okay, so the next thing I have to do is just change these indicator bulbs, because apparently, according to the tester, the orange layer, or the orange paint or coating, I suppose, around the bulb has actually come off, and so they're just flashing clear. So this should just be a simple thing, right? You just get in there, and then chip, 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 chip. So this is the new bulb that's going to be going in, and as you can see, bright orange. Come on, out you come. Gentle though, gentle. Gentle. And yeah, look, I suppose he's right. I don't know how well that's showing on camera, but lots of that coating has come off. In fact, it's probably easier to see that it's on my finger. So in with the new bulbs, and hopefully that is that. Right, let's see if I can book it back in for an MOT. I'm going to do the power steering pump, but it was just an advisory on the MOT, don't forget. And I'm happy for this to go through and have an advisory and then fix it afterwards. Completely changed my mind. I saw the end in sight. I could see clearly right up in front of me just a clean MOT with no advisories. So I had a good go at getting in here and fixing the power steering. So I hope you can see that there are now new washers, new copper crush washers down there on the two pipes that go into the power steering pump. So, and I've nicked them up just a little bit harder as well than I did before. Hopefully that should be it. Hopefully that doesn't leak. And yeah, I also bled it. Come on, Bob. Come on, you can do it. So a massive shout out to Colonel Bogey and Mr. S Ranks, who I assume is Mr. Shabba Ranks. Or a pencil.
Outside storage.
For buying me beer. You guys are fantastic. Side note, if you want to buy me a beer, there is a link in the description below. So why am I drinking beer at 1:30 in the afternoon on a Thursday? No. Yes. No? Yes. Don't know what the day was. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to announce that Bob has finally got an MOT. He passed. This Mini is now road legal. I am so relieved. Honestly, it just felt like such a long time coming. You know, so I started work on this car in January. It's been a good few months worth of work. Obviously, it's not full-time work. I do this around my actual day job. But honestly, I was just, you know, there's been multiple times where I'd nearly killed myself trying to get this car sorted. I'll be honest with you, it feels amazing. It feels amazing to be able to have started in, you know, January with no real skills or experience messing around with cars, to take a car that was as broken as this car and then fix all of the issues to pass an MOT here in the UK, which is pretty stringent. So here's my test. And as you can see, there are no advisories of any kind whatsoever. It is a completely clean pass. Absolutely massive thank you to everybody who's commented on all my videos, helping me with every little issue that I've had. Like, I genuinely couldn't have got this far without a load of the help that I've received. So, you know, give yourselves a pat on the back. Thank you ever so much. You know, and you've seen me go through quite a lot to get to this point now, so I would really appreciate it if you could actually hit subscribe. It's just here, like there, just it takes like a nanosecond to go when you have as few subscribers as I have, every little helps, because like I've said before, YouTube actually unlocks features for me. And now the car's actually road legal, I did take him for a proper blast, and he is great fun. I had never driven one of these Minis before owning this car. What a bundle of fun. I tell you what, there's modern cars these days, yes, they're fast, yes, they're refined, yes, they're quality products. But you get in a slightly older car where they were less worried about emissions and, you know, they were less worried about tiny little vibrations. Just get in an older car, a fast car, and just give it a blast, because this is so much fun. You feel so much more through it. Like, you feel loads more through the wheel. You feel it through the seat. You know, it makes fantastic noises when the supercharger kicks in. It's just, it's an absolute hoot of a little car. You know, this has got to be one of, you know, the best of the old school hot hatches, without a shadow of a doubt. And you know what, if there's one thing that I'd actually really like everyone to take away from this, is the fact that, you know, you don't need mad equipment, facilities, experience, knowledge or skills to just get working on cars. If you're like me and you've always just wanted to work on cars, but you've always just been a bit worried, oh, I don't have this kit, I don't have a load of money for... Honestly, I really hope this has just gone to prove that you just don't need it. Like, buy an old car. It doesn't have to be a fast car, it doesn't have to be a Cooper S or anything like that. Just buy an old car that doesn't work, put it on your driveway or a parking space like I've got here, get some basic tools and just start, honestly, because you can learn anything these days on the internet. All of this stuff, I've managed to take the engine out, I've fixed so much stuff on this car. New timing chain, guides, cam sprocket tensioner, supercharger serviced, new clutch and flywheel, new rear main seal. Took the whole engine out to do all of this work, don't forget. Auxiliary belt, idler pulley, crank spark plugs, rocker cover gaskets and seals, replacement front subframe, replacement steering knuckle on both sides. You know, it all just came, it's all just me watching YouTube videos and reading on forums. And, you know, I showed you the other day in a video that I bought myself a textbook that I'm reading about automotive technology. Like, you know, things are different these days. You can just crack on and pretty much do and learn whatever you like. So I urge anyone who has been umming and ahhing about whether they should do something similar, just do it, get going. Oh, also, I've got a lot of comments in the last video as well about if you replace a spring, you're supposed to do the other side as well. So looks like I'm gonna have to do the other side. Not in this video though. So I think really that's all that's left for me to do, is to drink my beer and then look at the list of jobs that I have to crack on with tomorrow. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, especially if you've watched more than one of my videos, and I will see you in the next one. I went for a Brewdog Dead Pony Club. Hashtag not sponsored. Believe me, Brewdog aren't sponsoring this channel. I've got like 10 subscribers. Trez nice.